August 2021, the US armies walk out of Afghanistan, leaving the stage clear for the Taliban to come and take over, throwing the entire country and its inhabitants into disarray. This isn't something new. We've read about it in the newspapers, seen news clips, but to see it in fictional form with imaginary characters going through the trauma, oh my God, it hits so hard and makes us feel so miserable. Kabul on Lionsgate Play is a searing, hard-hitting show, tracking the stories of multiple characters like an old woman prosecutor who has put multiple Talibanis in prison and therefore is their target number one. Her daughter, who's a doctor, who's been dreaming of getting married, but who has to go on the run with a small orphan child, whose only possession, a Walkman, is taken away by a Talibani because music is haram. A CIA officer who's trying to stop one last attack by the ISIS, and so many other characters, so many missions, like the Italian guy, diplomat, who's actually spent only 3 months in Afghanistan, and that too within the embassy, who now becomes the last hope of so many people trying to get out of Afghanistan. All these stories converge at Kabul airport, where people are trying desperately to get the last flight out. It's an extremely hard watch, but this is world class, first class television, absolutely amazing, brilliant storytelling. Must watch. Matlock was a legal series of the 80s, which has now got a reboot, but in a very different way, with a 70-year-old female lawyer who claims that she's now broke and her husband's walked out on her and therefore she needs a job and joins a legal firm. But nothing is what it seems. Even her name isn't actually Matlock. With Kathy Bates of Misery fame playing Matlock, this is a lovely show. It's very light, very funny, but also deep and emotional in parts. Extremely entertaining. It's when you're tired of watching very intense stuff, this is a great watch. I've actually watched it in between episodes of Kabul. Matlock on Amazon. Serial killer movies have been done to death, especially in the South, and especially after films like Portoil. It's very That's hard it for this a film to weekend. match I'll up. see you next weekend.
11
doesn't, but it's still kind of interesting, especially because of the central conceit, which is that all the people being murdered are one out of a pair of twins. I'm not giving you any big spoiler. This comes out pretty early in the film, and that's when the film actually gets engaging. However, there are lots of drawbacks also. The main romantic story doesn't work at all, and that takes up a large part of the first 30 odd minutes. It only works for one twist, which you can also see coming a mile away. Some of the other twists are also not very, surprising. Though the main twist, the one on which they've set the whole film around, that's not too bad. And there are a couple of good ones that follow that as well. All in all, 11 is an interesting movie if you like serial killer films. Nothing extraordinary, but not a bad watch. That's it for this weekend. I'll see you next weekend when a lot of interesting things are in the offing. There's Panchayat Season 4 coming, and most importantly, the finale of Squid Games. Catch you then.